I'm gonna need to go to the grocery store. I need broccoli. We're doing a creamy, cheesy broccoli, rice, and white bean soup. Very comforting. Not like really gourmet. This is like comfort food. There's not even fat in it because I don't saute the onions or the garlic. What I do is I just make broth with the scraps that I save in the freezer. The scraps, like over the week, like onions and garlic and carrots and celery and peppers and whatnot. And I make broth with that at the end of the week or whenever the bag is full. And that makes a really flavorful broth. In fact, this week, the garlic, I had some extra garlic. I should have planted it, but I didn't. And it was kind of turning a little yellowish, meaning it's not like prime garlic anymore, but it's still good. So I threw a whole head of that in the bag as well. So before I make broth with my scraps from the freezer, I make sure to rinse them really well, and then I just simmer the scraps in water for about 2 hours. I'm using the broth to make my beans, and all I'm doing is taking a bag of white beans and broth and making sure that the beans are covered by about 1.5 inches, and now I'm looking for some bay leaves. They're not in the right place, of course. And I'm just putting a couple of bay leaves in there, small bay leaves, and then I will just simmer this for about 40 minutes. Oh yeah, and I pre-soaked the beans. To go to the store, I need broccoli, and I want to see what kind of sweet potatoes there are. Hoping to find like a Japanese sweet potato. I keep seeing this preparation of a Japanese potato where you cook it very slowly for about 2 hours, and it's supposed to taste like cake, like without adding anything else to it. And I've been cooking other kinds of sweet potatoes slowly, and like they taste like custard without adding anything to it, and it's so good. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I just cooked the beans. I'll show you what is going on. Well, this is what's going on. It's just cooked beans. That's it. Cooked white beans. And I'm just going to leave it on the stove while I go to the grocery store. No, maybe that's a food safety issue. I plan on only being gone for about an hour, so I think it will be okay. Like otherwise, I'd have to put it in the fridge, and then that would actually probably spend more time at a temperature that is more likely to cultivate bacteria. So I think this is just better. All right, let's go. I don't know where my bag is. Smokey! Come here, boo. Come on. Come here, baby. Okay, let's put your collar on. We put shock collars on them, but they don't actually shock. They just let them know that we are leaving, and it's like a form of communication, but we don't actually have electricity on them. And do I have my phone? Oh, my phone. Oh, do I have my shopping bags? I have my shopping bags in the car. All right, let's go. Let's go, guys. You guys have got to stay, okay? Be good. Lila, you have to go back in. Go on. I'm sorry. I'll be back. Won't be very long.
Hop in my getaway car, let's go just for the night. Nowhere is ever too far, baby, all we got is time. A small town, run down, so let's run away from here. From the ghost.
So while we are shopping, I wanted to talk to you about my single most important reason why I'm vegan and why I won't judge you for not being vegan. We all have different struggles, different sensibilities, and we are all at different places in our lives, and we have different things that we are focusing on with different priorities. That sounds like a lot of differences, but that's because human life is complex, complicated, and challenging, and that's something we all have in common.
They do. Okay. Grab a couple of these.
There are so many channels already talking about the horrors of factory farming and such, and I want to share another perspective. And it's not just another perspective. I'm not trying to be different or clever or deeper. This is a perspective that is a guiding principle of mine for everything in my life. If you are new to my channel, let me tell you that I am on a spiritual journey that involves Quakerism and connecting with my Quaker ancestors. There are 6 specific spiritual insights and values that connect all Quakers, and they are called testimonies, and one of them is the testimony of integrity. But even before I started going to Quaker meetings, I owned this testimony. I just called it by a different name. I called it authenticity, which I associated with existential philosophy, not spirituality. So to me, authenticity means being true to myself, having the inside match the outside. I want to know who I am so that I know what I want and that I know what I can obtain based on my abilities and what I'm happily willing to do. And what I'm not willing to do within the context of my current lifestyle is look an animal in the eye and then take her life. Therefore, I don't think it's honest of me to be nourished by her death. It means that in order to enjoy a steak, I have to consciously not think about how that animal died. I'm basically applying a filter to my experience. I am lying. It's a lie by omission. In the past, I have forgotten myself and I've let this part slip. I've made excuses as to why I deserve or should eat meat. Perhaps I was craving a hamburger and told myself that I needed to listen to my body, or maybe I just wanted to support a local farm. But both times, I lost myself. I believe that if you are to be a mentally free person, you need to understand who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, what you're willing to do and not do, and then take yourself seriously by respecting those truths. When you make excuses against your own beliefs, you start to believe the excuses. I mean, how can you even be free if you don't even stand by your beliefs? I mean, doesn't that make sense? That you need to know who you are in order to know what your freedom looks like? And I know that can be hard sometimes, but a good beginning is just to take yourself seriously and respect your own truth. And one of my truths is I cannot look an animal in the face, kill it, and eat it. Therefore, I shouldn't buy it from the store already processed and eat it, because that is not representative of my truth. The inside does not match the outside. Does that make sense to you? Let me know in the comments if it does, if that resonates with you at all. So before we even put away our groceries, I am going to heat up these beans so we can start making our cheesy broccoli, rice, and beans soup. Vegan, of course. And I'm going to be using a brown basmati rice, which we need to prep first. So basically we just need to wash it for a couple of minutes and then drain it. And I'm going to be putting about a cup of that into the soup, into the broth that the beans and the broth that I've got going right now. And I'm adding about an extra cup of water, just so that it's still soup when it's done. Want some carrot? So I'm also adding my aromatics now, which is celery and carrots. I've already got garlic and onion in the broth. So the rice is cooked, and now I'm adding about a half a cup of nutritional yeast, and then I'm going to blend some of it. Not all of it, just a little bit. I'm just trying to get it thickened and a little creamy. And I'm also adding about a tablespoon of this homemade Dijon mustard I made. I'm being very careful not to overblend.
That's all I do. And then first comment is, these are the best Aussie rockers since ACDC.
I'm just adding a little turmeric here, just like a pinch for color and nutrition. And now I'm adding the broccoli. And you're going to be adding, if you make this yourself, you're going to need to add the broccoli in the last 10 minutes. So there's our very tasty, non-fat, but yet still comforting, cheesy broccoli, rice, and bean soup. It was very delicious. That's our video for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and maybe subscribe. I'll see you again in a couple of days.